Hey, what's up, guys? So after pretty much 2 months of usage, I think it's like I got this on the 16th, so basically a week away from 2 months. Kind of wanted to do just a review on this device and if it's really worth getting after a little bit of usage and just kind of experiencing what this phone has to offer, because you really can get a feel of the phone in a month. And obviously I did a review on each feature. So if you're really looking for the full review, like this is a problem. People are gonna think this is the full review. This is not the full review. This is pretty much just going to be my experience, but I do have a full review. So if you look on my page, look at most popular videos, it's the top one. So you can get a full review, you can see everything about this device. But I'm going to talk about things that I like, and yeah, I'm just going to talk about things that I've noticed about this device and everything like that. So the first thing is, in terms of how it feels nice in the hand, but I do kind of just get tired of the weird glass feeling in the back. It doesn't feel bad. It feels smooth. And the corners are rounded nicely and things like that. But when it comes down to it, I just get tired of the holding. I don't know. I get tired of how the phone feels. Whereas if I compare it to like my S23, I do enjoy the kind of like the matte glass in the back. But in terms of this right here, so I really do enjoy, for instance, it doesn't feel bad. Okay. This is all personal stuff. So, yeah. So another thing too is the front has Gorilla Glass Victus 2, but the back has Gorilla Glass 5, and that's not horrible. But yeah. So another thing too is the front facing camera being gone. It is nice, but to be honest, I barely notice the little hole, like the hole punch on my S23 when I'm playing games. And so, to be honest, sometimes I really wish with this phone that I had gone with a phone, and I have a phone like that right now. But sometimes I consider maybe they should have. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Maybe I should have, or maybe they should have done like a pop-out camera, like the OnePlus 7 Pro. Remember that? Remember how that mechanical camera that popped out? That was such a good idea. And especially with a device like this, where they already have pretty interesting, like different kind of cool features, like this. Like a fan, vents, things like that. Yeah, okay. So another thing too is you get a lot of dust. Like if I'm being honest, like I don't even go out and do stuff. This is just literally from the house. And I'm like not, like my house is like clean and I'm fucking clean person. Like it's weird. I just don't, I want, like look at that. Look at how much little dust specks in there. And I don't have a little fan to blow it out. So that's why. But also there's really no way for me to get it out. Like I don't know what to do, to be honest. So yeah, so does dust get in there? Goodness, I can't talk. Dust does get in there, right? So that is something that makes the phone feel like dirty and grimy, right? Like I don't, you know what I mean? I can make the phone screen clean, I can do the back, but when I look in there and see the specs, it just makes the phone look grimy, and it's kind of sucks. To be honest, like whereas like this Samsung phone, like it's always gonna look clean for the most part because it doesn't have like a vent. Now, this is a trade-off for better performance, because obviously you're gonna have dust in here, but you're getting a cooling fan in which it really doesn't drop a lot of frame rate. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of dropping in the frame rate, and that to me is something that is really, really fantastic, because you don't get any like overheating or any problems like that, and it preserves the battery longer, which I think is fantastic. So yeah, so let's go over like the fan. The fan is nice, but to be honest, at night it's really fucking loud, especially when I'm trying to be quiet. Like fucking pew. Sorry, my buddy texted me he's gonna buy my Xbox, and so I was just thinking about that. Sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, so is the fan a little ridiculous, right? I have the fan off, I'm pretty sure, but it's not super loud, but it's also not like the quietest thing in the world. I'm gonna turn the volume down so you can just hear the fan. What the fuck? Sorry. This is pretty cool. How close I can... Honestly, this is the S23 camera. This is pretty sick how close I can get. Bro, look at that focus. That's pretty damn close for quality, but you can really like literally see inside the phone. That's pretty insane. Good for Samsung. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, hopefully you heard the fan. It's not that loud, and I guess so. My wife says she can't even really hear it, and it's just like background noise. So it's positive. So I guess it's not that loud. But for me personally, I sometimes think that like I sometimes feel like it's loud, and then I get kind of embarrassed that I have like a phone with a fan. You know what I'm saying? And that's a personal thing, and I don't think people even give a shit really. So I mean that's fine, but yeah. So another thing too is I kind of the display is fine, and it makes the battery last long. But I kind of get tired of it, and it makes the phone like less appealing, especially because it's like what I'm looking at all day. It's not terrible, and I'm being picky, right? This is me being picky because this is just a 1 month kind of things I'm noticing. I guess I'll call it like an honest review, right? So the fan does get kind of like absurd. It is a little absurd. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I really need a fan. It does help with gaming, and like the gaming response time is much better. Like I showed you guys like a comparison video, and it is really awesome. Like it isn't really that bad. But yeah, so like it's not terrible. It's not a terrible display, but I do see something like the S23 Ultra display, and it's just addicting. Like I don't know what it is, but when I look at it, it gets so, and it's only subtle differences, but it's a subtle quality difference that makes me just gravitate towards wanting to keep the Samsung phone as my flagship. Like I don't know what it is about the design of this device, but it makes me want to continue using it. And I feel this way about this, but it's only really for games. Like I feel like I'm actually picking this thing up for like, you know, game usage when I want to play a game where I don't really think I'm ever going to play games on this device, to be honest, the S23 Ultra. I play PUBG with my friend, especially when I'm out, but like other than playing PUBG with my friend, I really don't do much on that other phone. But with this phone is perfect for gaming, and it really is a beast. So in terms of that, it's fine, and everything does work. I'm not saying things don't work. Everything does work on the S23 Ultra, but in terms of what I use the device for, like this is more of the S23 Ultra is like a productivity device versus this one where this is more of a gaming device. Obviously you can be productive, but it just has a different purpose. It's like expecting a good camera on like a gaming PC. Like I don't think anyone expects that. You know what I'm saying? Like personally, I don't expect that. You know what I mean? So it's like expectations. Will this work as a daily driver? Yes. I used it for a month and everything was great. Does it get grimy? Kind of. In that vent, it looks pretty gross. I want something that's aesthetically pleasing. I want to be able to look down and like know that I spent my money like nicely, you know? And I am getting really powerful specs, but I personally just would have taken a hit. I would have paid a little, if I'm being honest, I would have paid a little bit more for a nicer display. And hopefully they can implement that. I'd be crazy if we could get something like a 7,000 milliamp hour battery next year. Like, you know, it'd be crazy if they bumped it up another 1,000 milliamp hours. Bro, people will say I don't need that. Fuck that. Why would I not need that? I want awesome battery. I want my phone to last like 2 days where I don't have to charge it. And so this is actually something I do like about this. This phone lasts a long, long time. I get great battery. This is 1,000 more milliamp hours than, we don't call it, sorry, I get distracted. This is 1,000 more milliamp hours than the S23 Ultra and 1,300 more milliamp hours than the 14 Pro Max. So this is a big ass battery. There's a lot, and it really does show. This has been on idle for like 2 days now. and it's at 38%. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, just sitting there like 2 days. Like, if I leave my iPhone 11, for instance, on idle, it's gonna like last like 6 hours. Like, you know what I mean? And it really just shows that battery takes a shit. But I mean, that is a 2020, 2019 device or 2018 device. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the best, obviously, but y'all get what I'm saying. The battery on this thing is fucking fantastic, and I really, really think that this is a standout feature of this phone, especially with the lower resolution. It makes there's just less consumption of the power, especially if you want long battery and long gaming hours, want to be able to play games at full power for a very long time. This is the perfect device. So it really is. It's like, so, this is the perfect phone for somebody who doesn't care about cameras and only really wants to game. Like, they want a phone that's like a handheld gaming device that's just a powerhouse. Like, this is a powerhouse. It is a beast. Like, honestly, like, I would recommend this over the Rogue phone. The Rogue phone won't get dust in it. But honestly, somebody pointed out the fact that like the refresh rate, most games are going to stick at 60 regardless. So even if you set 120, like, it's not going to be performing at 120. So it's almost like anything higher than 120 right now is useless. Obviously, maybe not. Maybe there's something that, is useful for a 165 hertz display. But the bezels on the Rogue phone, I don't like that either. But yeah, so I would recommend this phone to somebody who wants to game, who's a big fucking gamer. And I'm talking like emulators. Like, emulators, this phone is a beast. It is nice, okay? The glass isn't terrible. It's just personal preference. It is a little dirty. I apologize. There's smudges and shit, but you can easily wipe them off. The transparent back does look pretty sick, but I do find myself getting a little tired of it. To be honest, it goes away, especially since this is like a sticker and it's not actually like, it's like, oh, like the processor and like the names. Like, it does look cool. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's a cool looking bag, that's for sure. And the titanium looks sweet too, but I'm looking here the majority of the time. And now, one thing I would praise this for is the bezels are non-existent. Like, there's no bezels, and I can play any game at really high graphics, like really, really insane graphics. And that's something, or insane graphics, but just the highest settings possible, and it can handle it easy. This thing handles things like a breeze. It's really nice. Like, everything's great. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's a really good phone. Yeah. So I would also say that. What else do I think? It's just like when I at the end of the day, what I'm going to use my phone for is not always gaming. And so when I think of what I want when going out, especially, I want a nice camera. This has a nice camera. It does take nice photos, but it doesn't compare really that well to the S23 Ultra's camera. And so when I'm going out, I want a camera because I want to take pictures of me and my wife, or I want to take pictures of like the environment. If I see something cool, I want to snap a photo of it. Samsung does a great job with pictures. I don't give a fuck if you're like, oh, well, the Samsung camera sucks. Like, the iPhone's just the best. Like fuck off. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't suck. Phone cameras are relatively the same thing, but you can get I love the zoom feature. The 100 times zoom is so crazy. There's this video out right now of this fucking woman catching her boyfriend cheating. Here, I'll put on Beavis. We'll see Beavis for a little bit. Different thing, but I saw this thing where this woman literally zoomed in. I don't know if it's clickbait, but this guy was outside texting another girl, and she like filmed the screen of her zooming in, and she literally zoomed in to this guy's phone, and she sent a picture of text messages because she could read them clearly, and from her window upstairs. Like, that is fucking impressive. That's so cool. Things like that like stand out, Yeah, but so honestly though, okay, I'm using the S Pen. I've used it for translation. I don't know why it doesn't have Chinese language or like Japanese stuff. So that's unfortunately not the best. But good thing there's built-in Google Translate on websites and stuff. So it's not a big deal. But in terms of like Spanish and like European languages, like and Russian and all that stuff, like you can translate those, which is pretty sick. So the translation thing is cool. I don't really draw that much, so the pen isn't really useful for me. But when I was filling out forms, I really found it useful to just have the pen so I could sign. Like I can write my signature out. So this thing is a productivity beast. Like the Samsung phone is a productivity beast. Here, Like I do still have to use my thumb, but it is a productivity beast too. Like it can do everything that this phone can do. It just doesn't have that extra added pen functionality, of course. But you are getting the fan, and so that means just better game performance. Like this is like that's the thing. Like it really is a gaming phone. I feel like gaming phones are just in a different category because their graphics and their specs are just on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I also think I'll praise this device because where it cut corners, it makes up for in other areas. It cut corners on the back glass, but it's not like I'm looking at the back glass all the time, so it doesn't really matter, right? Cut corners on two of the, like this is a 2 megapixel wide camera. I swear to God they put it there just so people didn't complain that wasn't a third camera. Like that really is what that feels like. So the ultra wide is hilarious. It's not good at all, but I mean, like the main shooter, the 50 megapixel one, it does take good photos. Like you got to hold it still, and you got to be in pro mode. You got to really kind of focus. Like you really got to make sure it's like running well. But it does good, and it has like 8K video recording too. Like it's nice. You know what I mean? Like it is really nice. So the camera, I really do prefer. I really like I like the camera on the S23, but I do like the video recording. The S23 video that I made recently was recorded with the RedMagic phone, and this is me filming with the S23, filming the RedMagic phone. And I'll just show you guys like one thing. Let's just say this. So back camera is nice, but front camera, meh. And of course it's under display, so it's gonna be affected. You know what I'm saying? Like there is going to be an effect. And so just because of that, sorry, I'm like looking at myself, bro. What's up, dude? But yeah, I mean, this is kind of cool actually. You can see but yeah, it feels like a camera that's just like 10 years old, to be honest. It is a high resolution camera. I think it's like 12 to 16 megapixels on the front. So it is a nice camera, but at the same time, like it's not comparing to the front-facing camera on the S23, and so the camera. But like, let's look at the back, right? So that was a weird color kind of thing. I don't really know what's going on there, honestly. So let's just go like, let's take a look like let's try to get a detailed photo. So you can take this and drag it down so I can change like the lighting. Let's do pro mode. Look, I mean, that's detailed. It looks good. And then video recording real quick. Like, look, I'll just show you guys that it is 8K. So look, video, it does the same. It does the same kind of settings as the S23 Ultra. Look, so Ultra 8K or Ultra HD 8K. Like, look. Like, dude. I don't film in this because I know it's just going to take up like an absurd amount of space. But like, look, see? Obviously, I don't know much about cameras, so anybody who knows something about cameras can fix this and do like the right kind of filming with like the light. But I mean, this for a non-gaming phone, 50 megapixels is crazy. Like it's a lot, dude. Like this is the amount that the iPhone has. Like, you know what I mean? And like I don't know how you guys feel about the photos. You think it's better or worse, but I mean, look at that zoom, bro. Like that's pretty good, right? Let's put it in the center so I can just like not think about it. There, let's go out a little bit. Okay, yeah, so honestly, the camera's good. Like, it's not the best. The front-facing camera's meh. But when I barely see the little thing on the fucking S23 Ultra. Can't say the same with the iPhone. And the iPhone camera is just whatever. It's okay. But yeah, another thing too, I wasn't really, I guess just like when I day to day with what I want to do when I leave the house, I don't really want to play games in public. So this is more of a home phone. In 2023, if you've got two phones, this is the home phone. And because I'm not trying to get water in the fucking space where the fan is. I'm trying to get it even more dusty. And you know what I'm saying? Like not really looking to do that. So in terms of a going out phone, I don't know if it's the best. It doesn't mean that it can't work because I've obviously gone out with it and stuff. But I just want like a good photo, you know? I want like a high quality like photos that I'm taking, and not everyone takes photos when they go out. But like, dude, if you see a kick-ass sunset or like a cool setup where like a tree looks a certain way and the landscape looks really good, or you're like, you know, you're in an environment where it's like snowing and you want a picture in the snow and you want it to look really good, like I don't want to take 3-4 shots in pro mode just to make sure it like looks good. Whereas I can just whip out my Samsung phone, it'll autofocus on its own, and it'll take a great picture, you know? That's something that I really care about and really want. I didn't realize how much I'd miss the front-facing camera as well. That's actually high quality until I actually had to use it for certain things. So for like even just video calling or other things, like I really found myself missing that. And of course you miss what you don't have, but I experienced 16 gigs and 12 gigs. Like for what I'm doing, it doesn't really make a difference because 12 gigs is a lot. It is a lot. Okay. It's a lot of RAM in the device. It's not a perfect amount of RAM, but it is a good amount of RAM and it will get things done. One thing I do is I did a video on the touch response difference. Dude, the 960 hertz touch response, like this thing is a beast when it comes to responding in video games. Like I could literally go like, you know what I'm saying? I could fucking move this around. Like I can make this like awesome, dude. It's really quick, really awesome. If you want to check out like the difference between this S23 and S23 Ultra and this device, go ahead and check that out. I do have a video on my channel as well as just I don't know what the other one was. I have an unboxing and I have like a full review actually of the S23 Ultra. So if you want to see that, it doesn't have a lot of views, so support your boy. Knock up those views. Obviously, I don't know how long people want to sit through a 3-hour. I don't know if people want to watch a 3-hour video. But for me, I just do things that I wish that people did when I was looking at a phone. Because for me, I like to, before I get a phone, I like to watch every single video I can. And I remember looking at this RedMagic phone, and I wasn't seeing a lot of videos. Like there were some, but I really appreciated the long, detailed, really long ones where even if people were talking for a long time, it didn't bore me. It was really interesting because, you know, I was like waiting and I wanted to see like size comparisons. Like I didn't really know like the size of things. Like, you know what I mean? And so, like for instance, like this, like if you have a Mac, like a newer Mac, like look, this is the size of it's like as wide, a little bit wider, or like in length, than this. Or like, how does it sit flat? Like, does it sit flat and have a crazy angle? Like, well, let's look. Pops up a little bit, but is it wobbly? If you do that, sure, but it's not like it's like tilted to the side like most cameras. Another thing too is like, with this not having very good cameras, I don't really mind putting it down on a table. Like other ones, I don't want to damage the cameras. Like I know it's like sapphire lenses, and they're really good lenses, of course, on modern phones. And you know, it's like I wish there, and I don't want to buy a shitty little protector. Like I'm not gonna buy a dumb little protector, okay, for my cameras. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fuck up the lens with these plastic things that are gimmicky. I'm gonna wipe this off because it's getting kind of gross. I apologize, guys. Let me show you how fast this thing can get clean. This can get clean real fast, like especially or not, and you know, not in that like that other one that I was talking about. Look, okay, so I got a little bit of smudges from just touching it, but like, look how much better it looks. It's way cleaner. I'm saying like I have like some smudges, but you can clean it off for me just touching it right now. But you know, you clean it off. It looks a lot better, right? Front smudge or two for me just touching it, but again, way better. You know, so you can wipe it off real fast. Obviously, any other phone. But yeah, are the features on this gimmicky? If I'm being honest, no. No, because you're not always using the fan. Somebody said that like they're worried about games in Rise mode. messes up the battery. Okay, another thing is you don't have to specifically put it in Rise mode for the phone to go to Rise mode. It will automatically switch to the best one because it knows what games are going to require a lot. Like there are games. I'm pretty sure it can tell like what the game is going to be and how much it's going to require, and it adjusts the speed of the setting accordingly. And your phone isn't always going to be in Rise mode, but when it opens up games, the majority of the time it's going to open up in Rise mode. So you don't have to worry about that, and the battery doesn't drain fast, right? So no big deal there. It's really not a big deal. I just love how this purple looks. By the way, it looks just super vibrant. Like it makes this like phone pop. It's like whoa, you know what I mean? It's pretty cool. Apple does always have pretty cool backgrounds. Let's see here. I'm sorry, it's just so crazy. This like level of zoom is just insane. Look at this, dude. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm mesmerized, bro. This camera is sick. Just how close I can get things to focus. Crazy. Anyway, yeah. So I would say it's just a phone. It's powerful, and it isn't gimmicky because the features that they really harped on do benefit your experience. They do. It does help during gaming, especially playing something like a Nintendo Switch where the phone turns into a nuclear fucking like it just turns nuclear with how hot it is. So like even a powerful chip like this with being in the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and the 16 gigs of RAM, like which I really like that there's 16. That was the biggest. I always talk about it, bro. It's so appealing. I don't know why, but I kind of do know why I like it. But it was so freaking appealing, and like I do use it in certain circumstances when it comes to emulation, and I do like to emulate games in this phone. Like it really does make me happy. I really do enjoy it, and because of that, it's nice to have the power that it does, and the fan does help in certain circumstances. The fan's not always going to be running. You turn it on and off as you will. You're not always going to be in Rise mode. You're not always going to have your phone going 100%. It does adjust fine. There's no bugs. I really haven't. Well, honestly, so this is a weird bug I've been experiencing. So when I unlock it, right, I don't know if it. See, like, look at this. What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this is like a recent Android thing, but like, look at this. It's frozen. So I have to do this, and then I can move it. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's easy to do, and it'll probably be fixed by the time I upload this, to be honest. But I noticed on my Samsung phone too. I don't know. It must be with the recent security update, and I think people are going to fix it. But let me just do this again. Maybe it's only a one-time thing. No, look at this shit. The fuck? Look at like this movement, dude. It's just like crazy. Like that's stupid. I don't want to deal with that. And maybe it is. I don't know if it's because of my launcher. Is my launcher? Maybe, but I don't know. That's really fucking annoying. So there is an annoying bug like that. But I mean, is it better than the iPhone that just freezes up and the screen turns black? Yes. So obviously it's not free from bugs. And obviously it's a little inconvenient, but bro, like see if it does it the third time. Yep. But look, you hit this, boom, and it's back to normal. So it is a little inconvenient, but it only happens when you're shutting the display, and it is fine. It's a little, but it doesn't affect the rest of the phone. Because look, watch, I'll just go into a game, or an app, right? App's fine. Always going into Call of Duty, you know it's good. Easily my favorite game. Bro, finally got to Grandmaster 2. Finally, bro. One more and I get this sick ass fucking gun. And I think it has like a crazy shooting effect too. I love the guns with like shooting effects. I think they're sick. There's one that's like a volcano one right now. And oh, dude, double weapon XP. 3 days until then. Nice. Okay, so whatever. Start. Like it. Look at it. Like it's not. It's fine. Like you know what I'm saying. Like look, obviously, right? It's good. So it's not really affecting performance. And this That is a simple bug that can be fixed. It can be fixed with a tiny update. So please don't let it sway your opinion, because that is one small thing and it's fine. Like, I swear to God, I know every fucking person that is against this phone is going to look at that and be like, well, this phone is unusable. Look, it freezes right. Dude, right as you put it in, bro. You see that? Like, fucking, bro, did you see that? I know people are going to want different examples in Call of Duty, but that's the game I fucking play. So, let's deal with it. Let's try the SKS. I don't use, like, rifles ever. So, using rifles, I feel like is pretty sick. But look, so, like... Nice. Like, look, is there any issues? No. Or are there any issues? Like, obviously not. M4 is pretty good, dude. Kind of tears through him. That is a bot. Who's standing like that? You can tell the real players when they hop around and shit. Versus the fucking bots are just like, zoom, shoot, pow. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this thing is fun. Like, this is fun. My sensitivity is super low if you're wondering why. It's like... Anyway. I don't know why it's like doing that weird, like... whatever. So sensitivity. Yeah, sensitivity's gonna be crazy. I kind of like playing with like the first default character because I think me being somewhat good is kind of unexpected. I don't even know if I don't know. I'm not like the best, but I'm not like the worst. I feel like either. I'm pretty mediocre. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay. Like, I'm not the best for sure. But yeah, you guys get the point. So I'm not running into any freaking lag issues like the home screen. Let's see if it locks up again. Nope. But I'll be honest, I don't want fucking comments about people saying like, the iPhone doesn't do that, bro. It does do that. It does. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Like, it runs games well. It's enjoyable. It does everything good. The sound's good. I like the headphone jack. That's another thing. Like, this headphone jack's awesome. I'm using my 10-year-old earbuds from the HTC One, like, and it works fine in there. They sound great. You know what I mean? And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys, commenting on my videos and stuff. It means a lot. But yeah, thanks so much. Have a good day.